Welcome to today's explainer. All right, we're going on a bit of a foraging journey today to completely transform how you look at a plant that, well, most of us actively try to avoid. If you've ever accidentally brushed up against it, you already know its bite. Yep, we're talking about the stinging nettle. But what if I told you that this widely feared, painful weed is actually a highly revered culinary and medicinal superfood? We're going to unlock its secrets today, and I promise you, by the end of this, you might just be hunting it down instead of running away from it.
Now, this plant carries some serious mythological weight. Ancient cultures didn't just see a pesky weed, they saw real power. The ancient Germanic people actually dedicated it to Thor, the god of thunder, because its sudden burning sting felt literally like a terrestrial lightning bolt. They used it as an oracle, and even hung it up in stables to ward off evil spirits. It's a plant that simply commands respect, and as we'll see, there's a fascinating biological reason for that lightning bolt sting.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap. We'll cover the misunderstood weed itself, its profile as a nutritional powerhouse, the seasonal shifts, safe harvesting, and finally, getting nettle into the kitchen. So, Section 1, the misunderstood stinging weed. Let's just address the elephant in the room, that notorious fiery sting. The nettle's painful defense mechanism has obviously given it a terrible reputation. But once we understand it, we can easily disarm it. The scientific name for stinging nettles is Urtica dioica, coming from the Latin word uro, which literally means to burn. If you look really closely at the leaves and stems, they're covered in these tiny, hollow, hair-like structures called trichomes. When you brush against them, the fragile tips snap off, transforming into microscopic needles that inject a cocktail of chemicals directly into your skin. The primary culprits: formic acid, histamine, and acetylcholine. This chemical payload causes that immediate itching, the redness, and the familiar swelling. Honestly, it's just a brilliant evolutionary defense mechanism. But humans have long known that the reward is absolutely worth the risk. Nettle has an incredibly rich history, especially in the traditional Norwegian diet and Nordic culture. Archaeological finds from Norwegian Merovingian period and Viking Age graves show that the plant's strong bast fibers were actually woven into textiles. Pretty amazing, right? And beyond clothing, it was a crucial folk remedy in the region, traditionally used to jumpstart the metabolism after those long, harsh northern winters. Even Roman soldiers used it, deliberately rubbing their limbs with the leaves to stimulate blood flow and stay warm during cold campaigns. Moving right along to Section 2, a nutritional powerhouse. Which brings us to exactly why our ancestors were so obsessed with this stuff. The answer is hidden right beneath those stinging hairs. Nettle leaves are incredibly nutrient-dense, offering a massive array of vitamins and minerals. We're talking exceptionally high levels of vitamin C, iron, calcium, and potassium, along with chlorophyll and vitamins K and B. And this specific combination, it's absolutely crucial for overall health and recovery. For example, the high levels of vitamin C actively help your body absorb the plant's rich iron content, which makes nettle a fantastic natural tool for combating iron deficiency and general lethargy. Meanwhile, the calcium and magnesium support your bone density, while potassium goes to work flushing out toxins. Now, what's really interesting is how nettle absolutely crushes conventional ingredients. When researchers compared the beta-carotene content of nettle leaves to everyday wheat and barley flour, they found that nettle contains 10 times the amount. 10 times! Beta-carotene is a crucial pigment that acts as a powerful antioxidant and converts to vitamin A in the body, which is absolutely essential for preserving eye health and maintaining a healthy retina. And hey, if you thought dark leafy greens were just about vitamins, consider this. During its peak season, stinging nettle contains up to 25% protein by dry weight. That is extraordinarily high for a leafy green vegetable. If you consider kale and spinach to be nutrition superstars, nettle is right up there in the exact same elite category. Beyond just vitamins and protein, nettle is absolutely packed with phytonutrients like polyphenols and flavonoids. These powerful antioxidants step in to defend your cells against free radical damage, which, as we know, is linked to aging and chronic disease. By neutralizing those free radicals, the phenols in nettle significantly strengthen your immune system. Plus, multiple studies have indicated that nettle extract actually interferes with the production of inflammatory markers, so it's highly effective at managing internal inflammation and has even been traditionally used to treat things like arthritis and seasonal allergies. Section 3, seasonal shifts from April to September. Here's where the science gets really dynamic. Nettle is not a static ingredient. Its chemical composition shifts quite dramatically from spring to autumn. Researchers tracked wild stinging nettle from April all the way to September and found some fascinating variations. In April, at the very start of the vegetation period, the leaves hit their absolute peak concentrations for iron, potassium, and phosphorus. Moving into May, the plant shifts gears to maximize its pigments, hitting peak chlorophyll and antioxidant levels. As the intense summer heat rolls in during August, the plant responds by maximizing its vitamin C and phenolic compounds. And finally, in September, at the very end of the season, it becomes heavily mineralized, peaking in calcium and magnesium. And this rotating timeline brilliantly illustrates exactly how you can tailor your foraging to your own specific health needs. Want to treat anemia or brew an early spring mineral tonic? Go harvest in April. Looking for vibrant green pigment and provitamin A? May is definitely your month. Need maximum systemic anti-inflammatory potency from vitamin C and phenols? Wait until August. It is literally like nature's rotating pharmacy. But if you're looking for the absolute best time for overall immune support and vitality, May is the golden window. Researchers found a staggering 95.17% peak antioxidant activity in nettle leaves harvested in the month of May. Those young, tender leaves in late spring simply offer the most robust defense against cellular damage. All right, Section 4, Safe Harvesting and Preparation. So how do we actually get this superfood from the forest to the kitchen without getting stung? It's a really simple, actionable process. Step 1. Always wear thick gloves, long pants, and long sleeves to prevent close encounters with those barbs. Step 2. Focus on the tender new spring leaves, or the nettle tops. You usually just use scissors to snip the top few leaves so the plant can actually continue to grow. Step 3. Keep those gloves on while you swish the leaves in a bowl of water to wash away any dirt or insects. And finally, Step 4. Apply heat or dry them out. So the crucial point is this: you must never eat raw, unprocessed stinging nettle. However, applying heat treatment completely deactivates the sting. Whether you're boiling, steaming, pan blanching, or fully dehydrating the leaves, the heat physically breaks down those fragile hairs and destroys the formic acid. Once it's cooked or dried, it's perfectly safe, totally pain-free, and it retains all that rich flavor and incredible nutritional value. Finally, Section 5. Nettle in the kitchen. Now, for the final reward, let's look at how this vibrant green ingredient actually shines in everyday recipes. The easiest rule of thumb is that cooked nettle can substitute for cooked spinach or kale in almost any dish. It has a lovely, mild flavor. A lot of people compare it to a mix of asparagus and cucumber. You can fold it right into a lasagna, blend it into a pesto, using a food processor to mechanically break down those stinging hairs, or use it to brew a deeply nourishing herbal tea. But perhaps the most classic preparation of all is soup. For a really quick, elegant spring meal, try a traditional nettle and potato soup. The trick here is all about timing. You saute your onions, garlic, and potatoes, and let them simmer in a nice vegetable broth. But you want to wait to add your fresh May or June spring nettle tops until the very end. By stirring in about 6 cups of the loosely packed leaves, and only cooking them for the last 2 minutes, you destroy the sting, but completely retain that gorgeous, bright green color and fresh flavor. Or, if you prefer drinking your nutrients, nettle tea is an absolute staple of herbal medicine. It's best made from leaves that are dried before the plant flowers in late summer. You just steep the dried leaves in hot water. The resulting tea is absolutely packed with vitamin C, acts as a gentle diuretic to help flush out toxins, and helps reduce systemic inflammation. It's really the perfect soothing tonic to support your general wellness. While we've traveled from ancient Viking textiles all the way to the cutting-edge science of antioxidants and seasonal chemistry, this is a plant that demands our attention with a painful sting, but rewards us with incredible healing and nourishment. So the next time you're out on a spring walk, I want to leave you with this. Knowing its incredible nutritional power and rich history, are you going to continue to walk right past this superfood, or will you put on some gloves and invite it into your kitchen?